It's Bluestar that's hogging the limelight. The demand for ACs seems to be growing as the summer is very well underway. What's the outlook when it comes to the overall volumes and what's the growth outlook for FY25? Vir Advani is the chairman managing director at Bluestar and now joins us live. Thank you for taking time out. Clearly, the demand for a lot of summer products has revived. A lot of peers of yours, for instance, have reported pretty strong growth, nearly 70% for you as well. Can you give us a sense as to what really the numbers stack up like? What is the outlook for the rest of the summer season?
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having me here. If you'll indulge me a few minutes on how we did last year before we get into the current summer, it was actually a great year for Bluestar. We closed revenue at 9,685 crores and EBITDA at 665 crores, which was a 35% growth over last year. EBITDA percentage also improved. I think the great thing about our last year performance is that both our segment one and our segment two results have been strong. Both have come in at about 350 crores of EBIT roughly. So we have a very even balanced growth in both B2B and B2C. Of course, we want to talk about the summer and about our cooling products. Room air conditioners had a fantastic Q4. April, of course, has been very strong for the industry as well as for us, as has our commercial refrigeration products, deep freezers, water coolers, etc. I think that the outlook for the summer is, of course, strong. But as usual, we should expect that May and June in various parts of the country, we will start seeing rains. And so we should really look at January to June as a overall market growth. I think it should be around 30 to 35%.
That's the outlook when it comes to your overall demand trends. But we have seen pretty strong growth when it comes to your peer companies for ACs. Do you think that the outperformance will continue? What is the outlook when it comes to your market share?
So we closed last year with a market share of 13.75%, slightly higher than the previous year. We did well last year. I think we were able to maintain our margins at 7.8% at a segment level, which I think is excellent in a very competitive market. You remember we started the year last year on a low because of the washed out summer. Of course, we were able to make that up in Q3 and Q4, of course, has been an all-time record. Bluestar as a company, we crossed 1 million units of mini splits and air conditioners sold. That's a big milestone for us, especially because we commissioned our new factory in Sri City only a year ago. I think looking forward, like I said, the industry should grow at about 30%. We're, as usual, expecting to grow a little faster than that. On the back of several initiatives we have taken, you're aware, we now have a full affordable product range, something that we did not have for several years. It's doing exceedingly well in the market. We're very optimistic about the outlook for this year.
Explain it to our viewers that growth is there, EBITDA is up. Were there some extraordinary line items in profit after tax, and that is the reason why it is down?
So last year, you may remember, we had sold our Thane land for 171 crores. And so at a PAT level, you may see us flat for the full year. And for the quarter, obviously, it will be down. I'd encourage you to look at EBITDA. EBITDA has grown 35% over last year. We're at 665 crores for the full year. Even for the quarter, you'd have seen EBITDA, operating EBITDA at 242 crores, up again 35%. So we're happy with the cost management programs that we're running. We're taking out cost while bringing down prices in our product range. And again, not just in our room air conditioners consumer business, but it affects our B2B businesses as well.
The high point for the quarter gone by, of course, is the unitary air conditioning business, up 35%. Is it possible for us to understand that is this just inventory pileup which has happened before the summer season, or this is real demand?
So thank you, Nikhil. This is actually real demand. We're amazed to see the movement of product in the market. Obviously, as you know, March is a year end for many of us, all the big players, and there is a tendency for brands to obviously push primary sales in February and March. However, after a long time, last year, of course, was a washed out season. But if you look at this year, we've had secondary and tertiary sales in April, in the month of April, up 70, 80, 90%. That means that almost all the inventory that was put into the market in Jan, Feb, March is getting cleared out extremely fast. You may have read news articles, you yourself would have done channel checks. Of course, there is some shortage of material across the industry. Each of us is managing relatively well, I would say. As far as Bluestar is concerned, we have some shortages in some markets and some SKUs, but fortunately, because we have our own manufacturing in-house now, our supply chain lead time is substantially shorter. And so we'll be able to make up some of these shortages as early as, in the next week to 10 days.
We look at the air conditioning demand, it is no longer luxury, it is more like a necessity now. I mean, if the AC goes off in the studio for half an hour, we want it to be started again. So it is more like a necessity now. Has this necessity demand now started coming from towns and from cities and from talukas and kasbas, which earlier were not on Bluestar's radar? I mean, are we getting demand from pockets which were unheard of now earlier?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. We are seeing unprecedented demand from corners of this country that we could not have imagined even 2 or 3 years ago. Of course, metro demand is strong. Of course, replacement air conditioners are there. Of course, studios like yours, I understand will be expanding and will need air conditioning, but it is really that tier 3, tier 4 buying that is happening. It is the first time buyer. It is young buyers. And importantly, it is income levels of all strata. I'm very happy to tell you that I get WhatsApp messages from all kinds of people who I know. It is really incredible asking for, can I buy an air conditioner? And in fact, now it has become, can I buy an air conditioner for my son or daughter? They're getting married. So it has become that kind of product. We've been waiting for this golden period for our industry for many decades. You, of course, have been tracking our industry for the last decade. So I think you understand there's a fundamental shift in demand that we're all seeing, and it is an industry phenomenon. We're just happy in Bluestar that we took this decision of creating our affordable product range when we did, because if we had not done that, we would have missed out on this round of growth. So we're extremely bullish right now.
For next 3 years for the industry, it's going to be 15 to 20% kind of a demand growth, at least standing today. One has to look at the 3-year outlook, whether it is electricity penetration or high summers or the sheer shift from organized to unorganized, whatever may be the big picture scenario, air conditioning industry for next 3 years will grow between 15 to 20%.
I think I agree with your outlook. As far as Bluestar is concerned, our capacity right now is about 1.1 million units. We sold about that many last year. We're expanding in a modular basis. So we have investment plans to go up to 2 million units over the next few years. So that is actually the trend. And while we, of course, talked about room air conditioners, mini splits a lot, I want to tell you that this unprecedented demand that is coming from multiple markets is also coming for our central air conditioning products, is also coming for our refrigeration products. We're very happy to see quick service restaurants, pharmacies, all kinds of formats opening up across the length and breadth of the country. So I don't want to leave out those parts of our business. We expect similar growth trend across our entire B2B and B2C portfolio.
0.1 million units. What is your market share? What is the industry size? And if you are expanding, I'm sure others are expanding. So 3 years from now, what would be the total capacity of the industry?
So capacity is a little, everyone is bringing on capacity in phases. So it's a little unclear as to what is the capacity today. I think that, everyone is planning for a 20 million unit market in a few years. So if everyone is planning for that, we should expect that capacity will be higher than that. So very clearly, this is a competitive industry. It is going to be competitively very intense. We are, very focused on our EBIT margins. We're very focused on our return on capital. I think you would have seen, in spite of the large capex we've made over the last 3 years, our return on capital continues to be industry leading. So we run our business very honestly, looking at profitability metrics, EBIT and ROC. We'll continue to invest as long as it is accretive. We're So far, we've done a good job across whether it is deep freezers, central air conditioning, room air conditioners. We have positive EBIT and ROC there. So I think we'll continue to invest in line with that 20 million unit market outlook. You asked our market share. We, of course, talk about value. From a volume point of view, the industry would have done something over around 10 million units last year. We did about just over a million, 1.1 million. But from a value point of view, I think you know that Bluestar sells more five-star ACs, more inverter ACs, higher end products, specialized products as well for commercial use. So our value tends to be higher than the industry average.
Every industry is going through some breakout moments, whether it's on energy transition, whether it is mechanical, whether it is going digital. Is there a breakout moment or a technology breakthrough which the air conditioning industry is there? Up until now, sir, it's only been better cooling, more energy efficiency. But is there a breakthrough moment which could come in 3-5 years, which could be disruptive for your industry?
So absolutely. So we're looking at various disruptions. So first of all, I want to tell you that even the basic improvement in the technology is substantial. It is not normal. What I'm talking about is that we're going through step function changes in efficiency. We're going through step function changes in what is acceptable as refrigerants. You know that we have both aspects that we're dealing with. So just on an ongoing basis, you will see, I think every 2 years, you will see a product portfolio from the industry which is remarkably and dramatically different from what it was 2 years ago. And the government is also supporting us in that effort and is pushing us in that effort, because I think you understand the government is very clear that this is a product that is needed by the masses. And yet we have an obligation to the world as far as decarbonization is concerned. So, we are an overregulated industry for good reason, and we will continue to push the boundaries. What you're asking about is disruptive technology, and that is moving away from the vapor compression cycle, the basic technology which has been around for 125 years in air conditioning. I think we are about 10 years away from that, whether it is magnetic cooling, whether it is alternate materials, phase change materials. Bluestar has started doing some R&D on that front. I'd say that we're still a ways away, but we're confident that over the next 5-7 years, we will be able to get involved in that transition. Probably 10 years from now, we're looking at cooling without a box, if I can put it that way. So we'll see how it goes.
Forward to that. Thank you for taking time out and joining in, giving us a flavor on how things are shaping up for the industry as a whole and, of course, for Bluestar itself.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.